I'm going to speak about innovation ecosystems, and I'm going to go with you and share a doubt I've been building in this last, let's say, year. We are used to a system where no matter how complicated is the way we represent it, in a linear fashion or in a very spaghetti-wise or entangled fashion, it always goes from science to economy to business, having in mind that at the end of the day there is a clear leadership that goes into the science domain. We have been in this couple of days discussing several things. Are we sure that this is still the case? Are we sure that what mattered 10 years ago, I would like to say last century, still matters today, but it's even more important, will matter tomorrow? Let me tell you what happened to me months ago when, as president of this association, I was in Abu Dhabi. And it happened to me to listen to two presentations. A presentation from a guy promoting its technology park, very innovative one, explaining the structure of the accessing process, how you get evaluated, how you get supported, how you get monitored, how you get guided through access capital, and at the end of the day, how you graduate. I'm not going to say which technology, because it doesn't make any difference. And then this guy came, and he was the guy who initiated this rover thing. The rover is this kind of robot that goes underwater and does exploration. It was a guy, young, but ages doesn't matter. And he told, you know what happened? I was with friends, I dropped my keys in a cave underwater. I couldn't get them. So a couple of days later, we were in a coffee. We were discussing with friends, and we started to make sketches on paper. And then we shared this idea of having somebody that could help us to get keys from the cave underwater. And we started to share this with the internet. And after a while, we got community. So we, from the sketches on paper at the back, we made something more structured. And so we got the project of the prototype. And then we needed to build it. So we went online, we shopped online, we bought all the components. Then we needed to do the body. We need to frame, a little frame to host the component. So we went to the maker's shop, which was available from the municipality. We sat down, in a couple of days we got our rover. And then we started to test it. Of course we couldn't find the keys, because keys were not there. But nevertheless, and then the thing became viral. And from that little rover we created community. And now they're having kind of open competition with the rover, and it became something global. Kind of an open platform for these kind of things. And say, what? Structured process, application, evaluation, admission or not admission, support, consultancy, technology transfer, patenting, access to finance, company creation, and then this. Recently, very recently, this came out. They say, you know guys, Of course, universities are important. Of course, access to capital is important. But this is not enough. This is not sufficient. And they said, you know, guys, what counts, what matters. We have been listening to this several times. The entrepreneurial dimension, even more, the entrepreneurial culture, even more, how entrepreneurship shapes a place. Keep in mind the word place. They say what really matters, and this is a study by these guys here in US and UK. What matters is when this entrepreneurial culture of the place interacts with the knowledge and with the talents. And this makes the difference in terms of flourishing of innovation and entrepreneurship. Because as we said, as we learned also yesterday, innovation and entrepreneurship, they go together. And we know that now companies are shaped or have different needs than in the past. We learned this several times. I'm not going to spend so much time here, but there is a key focus on people, on their ambitions, on their dreams, on their capability to deliver, of them being entrepreneurial. And then we heard this word several times today, and yesterday, network connection, this matters the most. Sometimes they say, you know guys, we love to look at our belly button. This doesn't pay anymore. Being open is what changes the rules. And another important thing, it was highlighted a little bit yesterday, being able to iterate with customers to find out the right business model. And this requires a special focus. And then being lean and fight fast. I mean, this has been said billions of times. So, and then we know that now everything is digitalized, dematerialized, demonetized, thank God, more democratic. So, when it goes to ecosystem, which means when it goes on how, on a systemic base, we organize ourselves to support innovators. Are we sure that we are doing the right things, having this in mind? Do we need to change something? Do we need to have a different kind of leadership? And is there a different focus in terms of, let's say, place? And this is what we found out, and this is the core for the last 6 minutes. We have two ecosystems, traditional one and new one. Now, don't ask me if traditional is better than new, if the word traditional is not as good meanings as the word new, because this is not the point. The point is that there are big differences. Big differences in the way ecosystems are set up. Somebody said that there are 80 billion euro available for research and innovation. This is Horizon 2020. If you take into consideration European structural investment funds, you can easily add another 160 billion. So it's something like 240 billion to be spent in Europe in the next 7 years, maybe 6. Because one is already done. What about if you are spending this money in the wrong way? Or, better say, if you are spending this money not in the most effective way. So, traditional ecosystems, or the ecosystems that we have used so far, they're very much technology-based. Everything starts from a technology. When you enter the incubator, the first questions are about how innovative your technology is. Is this correct? Does it sound familiar to you? It does a lot to me. In the new ecosystem, there is a strong focus on users. The first question they ask you is, how many users have you reached out? What was their feedback? It sounds very different. Size. Current ecosystems, they are size-oriented. SMEs. SMEs is connected to the size of the company, small and medium, or even micro SMEs. There is no reference to their stage, their age. The new ecosystems, they don't matter about the size. On the other side, they would like to have companies that grow fast and become big as fast as possible. They are based around the concept of the, let's say, stage and scale up, which is not connected to a definition based on size. The current ecosystems are very regionalized. Companies from a specific area have to apply. So it matters where your company is based if you want to get support. New ecosystems are very much global oriented. I don't know if you are familiar with e-residency in Estonia. Traditional or current ecosystems are very much cluster-based. Of course, concentration matters, and nevertheless, very much focused on an industry. The new ecosystems are very much driven by diversity. Diversity matters, contamination. The European Commission also created a very amazing buzzword, relative variety, which is whatever it says from that specific knowledge. Current ecosystems are very much concerned of engaging local know-how. I guess that you are familiar with list of consultants you can access as long as they live nearby you. And how much it's difficult to use public support to buy know-how and advice from another country. They say it's not possible. It's not located here. The new system, it's open, it's collaborative, doesn't care where the knowledge is as long as you access it. It's peer-to-peer. This is important. You would like to receive support, feedback, idea from somebody like you, like us. You would like to share things on the same base. Not to listen to somebody because, sorry to say, he's a university professor or an academic, or because he's a consultant or advisor. You want to listen to him because he's a guy who's suffering the same pain, or a woman who is sharing the same problems. Infrastructure-based place, container incubators, they're localized. Nicholas was telling me this morning that there is a new generation of accelerators. They say, we don't even want co-working space, we don't even want a place to go for our people, because it's not important where they sit. It's important the interaction, the collaboration, the networking. And sometimes it's better to have a party and a glass of beer than having the possibility to sit together somewhere. Money, crowdfunding bank, open or paid by technology transfer offices. So, what matters? The density, of course, and density now calls for a new dimension, which is the urban dimension, cities. And cities worldwide, at least the far advanced ones, are starting to build their entrepreneurial ecosystem. And building an entrepreneurial ecosystem is having in mind, fostering innovation, of course, being able to serve the new wave of companies and businesses, means public procurement, open data, social programs. Kindergartens matters more than venture capital funds. It's not just money. And last but not the least, we need, in terms of challenges in front of us, to understand that everything is connected to entrepreneurial talent circulation, which means places, cities, will compete with each other to retain and attract the best people. And retaining and attraction, I will go with easy access, accessibility, open infrastructures, community services, community-based services, being testbed for technology, and another business is for advanced here, facilitating access to users and being a facilitator towards the economy, which means open data, which means kindergartens, which means support for young couples, which means equal opportunities. Without equal opportunities, a strong social policy, Stockholm wouldn't become the innovation and entrepreneurship hub it is today. It's not technology. Of course, education matters. But education without entrepreneurship that gears knowledge to economy, forget it. So, challenges. New typology of business. We are seeing differences there. The international dimension, the speed of transformation, and the need to balance the hard infrastructure with the soft infrastructure, which are services, but not just financial services, not just business services, also social services, and the capability to build policy, urban policies, which are not just connected to technology. Sorry to say, but there's the big bullshit of smart cities, technology oriented. But they are very much oriented to entrepreneurship and social issues. How to use the new opportunities to attract and retain talents. So, what do we need? I don't know if we need to balance the two approaches, size-based and face-based, the new and the traditional. I don't know, but this is something we should ask to ourselves. We should ask ourselves if our place-based policies, like urban policies, are adequate, and we must start mapping what we have in hands to understand if this will help for the future or not. Thank you very much.